Hey guys, and welcome back for another content of Ragnarok M Classic. And in this video, I will be talking about the instances and how you should prioritize your gameplay time. For starters, gameplay time is this separated category of numbers below your combat attempt. While your combat attempt consumes when you are grinding on the open world monsters, gameplay time is consumable when you are doing these instances and also pet adventures. Speaking of pet adventures, I really do not recommend you consume your gameplay time attempt just to get some of these materials. For me, it's not that worthy if you compare it to the wild fantasy fable that also gives Stone of All Things, which is really efficient. Now let's learn about this gameplay time. You can gain 150 gameplay time each day when a server time resets. Additionally, you can gain another 30 gameplay time in the dailies, making it 180 gameplay time for each day. There are also these time adventure potions that you can get somewhere in the events and also in the adventure topic. However, I advise you to not use it if you are not doing some instances, because as you can see here in the mode duration, you can only have up to 480 minutes stack of gameplay time in total, for which it will not exceed the stack for another 150 for tomorrow. And that will be a waste if it happens. So make sure to not exceed up to 480 minutes and better to use the 150 minutes of gameplay time before calling it a day. And now let's go to the instances. Here in the Rift, we can get the best starter gears for our characters. These gears have really nice stats and we can easily refine this with the safety gear method. As you can see, it consumes 30 gameplay time for each attempt. And by the way, every week on Monday, we can have one free attempt for each of these instances, which is a really great additional feature. Now, what I can advise is that you consume your gameplay time here in the Rift first, because we will be needing these adventure sets, especially in the mid-game. But I do not advise you to consume all your gameplay time here. No, it is not advisable. As you can see here, we have the 3 times the equipment drop reward for once. That means when you first consume your gameplay time each day in the specific rift, the rewards will be threefold. And with that, I recommend you to just only get the 3 times reward and move on with another instance for that day. And to add up, the first completion doesn't cost any 3 times equipment drop, meaning you can only get the 3 times drop if you finish that specific dungeon after that first completion, which makes sense. Also, there are these completion tasks that have requirements to get some more rewards. And by achieving 3 stars, there will be a chance to drop a gear with refinement level into it, which is a must to have so you can easily refine your adventure gears. Now, moving on, we have the Battle of Cake. In this instance, we can get these rewards and these marshmallow that you can exchange it for headwear costume. In the early stages of the game, I only advise you to just consume the free duration per week. Do not consume any gameplay time here unless you are rushing for monocles if you are a sage or wizard. Next is the wild fantasy fable, which I already mentioned earlier. In this instance, you can get a rich amount of materials and also the Stone of All Things. Now, regardless of what levels you select, it will still give the same amount of EXP and material rewards. It will just depend on what materials you want to farm. So of course, consume the free duration if you still have it, and then try to consume the gameplay time if you really needed that materials for crafting or upgrading your gears. But do it slowly because there's much more important instance that you need to prioritize, and that is the Chaotic Invasion. Chaotic Invasion are these MVP and mini bosses that are much easier to kill, and they have different rewards. So choose a boss that has accessory, equipment or card drop that your character needs. Again, consume the free duration and then try to have 1 attempt of MVP per day, because you can only have 5 reward counts per week. And then here in the mini boss, go for 2 attempts per day, and it has a limit of 10 reward counts per week. So you better maximize these MVP and mini rewards because this will give you a lot of zenny or progression in the game. Now let's move on to the Endless Tower. Good thing this instance doesn't consume any of your gameplay time. You only need to go high floors as much as possible to claim more and more rewards. My advice is to run Endless Tower on Sunday evening so you can maximize your progression by the end of the week, and by that your party can clear more floors. I may be making a guide for Endless Tower in the future, so stay tuned. Next is the Oracle Dungeon. In this dungeon, you can get a lot of Nolan cards, which is a requirement that you can exchange on the King Pouring to have a chance to roll for an MVP card. This dungeon is somewhat hard and may need a better strategy in the party. But anyways, consume the free duration and then try to get the higher levels as possible through the week. Because you can see here, every week, the maximum reward for Nolan cards is also reseated. So you can now again get 80 Nolan cards for the first weekly attempt of that certain dungeon. Then move again to another to maximize the rewards. This will be your go-to instance when you already reach maximum rewards in Chaotic Invasion. And it has a maximum of 20 reward counts per week. So this game tries to tell us that we will consume the remaining gameplay time we have for the week. But still, it's up to you if you want to consume it on another instances like Battle of Cake, Wild Fantasy Fable, Rift, or even the Palace of Ghosts that has a 5 reward counts per week. It is only accessible for level 90 above, and it is also optional if you need these items. I'm not sure where to use these memories. If you can comment down below, let me know. It will depend on what item or materials you need as of the moment. I am just recommending you guys on how to maximize your gameplay time, especially for F2P that really wants their character for min-maxing. Now, we still have many dungeons left here, but these dungeons doesn't require any gameplay time. And you can freely do any of these dungeons any time of the week. And they also have good rewards as well. I may be covering each of these dungeons and what strategy to prepare, if we can have access in the future. If you find this video helpful, then please leave a like. Also subscribe to support my channel. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe and have an awesome day. Lights out.